This is Kollage. We talking about relationships. I'm here with my purpose partner,
Aneo Al.
and I am Kenya S. I am a therapist, I'm a broker, and I'm bringing it all together to bring y'all some good stuff on relationships.
And I'm Al. I'm some of everything.
Yes, you are. So we gonna go ahead and just dive right into it.
Let's get to it.
Okay. So we gonna explore monogamy. So when Anejo Al introduced me to the 4 monogamies, I didn't know it was 4. I always thought it was 1. Meaning that if you're sticking it to me, you're only sticking it to me. But there are actually 4 monogamies.
You get to it.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to use my phone. I know them, but I just want to break them out. But first, before we go there, we decided to talk about the 4 monogamies because we've been having conversations about is black love under attack? Like, what's going on? Why ain't nobody staying together? And me being the nerd that I am, I did some research. And according to the U.S. Census Bureau, let me give them their plug because I don't want nobody coming after me. This is from the Journal of Blacks in Higher Education. They're saying basically that black people are not getting married and we're not staying together. So compared to whites, nearly 54% of white population is married, compared to 31.2% of the black population, which is pretty much common in relationships.
That's ego too.
You think that's ego?
You got to look for more love than your spouse.
Wait.
You're a therapist. I said you have to love more than your spouse. You may have kids, you may sleep with others, a different type of levels of love.
Yeah.
I think when you say I only love this man,
right,
that kind of put us in an ego state.
Okay, we're gonna come back to that.
Yeah.
We're gonna come back to that.
Just put that in there.
You did, in the ego. Then there's social monogamy. Even if we're not actually monogamous, in other ways, I want people to think we are. All right. And then lastly, there is activity monogamy. I've never fucking heard that. But that's our thing. Meaning that activities, going out, you don't do that with anyone else but me. Like, you're not taking your side chick to the Applebee's that we go to all the time. Activity monogamy. So is that ego?
Misinformation, unawareness.
Okay. How is that misinformation or unawareness?
Because why would you think that, okay, I should only, just this person can only do activities with me?
What?
You said activity monogamy, right?
Yeah, but I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
Activity, from what that's saying, is that the only person that my spouse or my partner can do is activities with me.
Well, okay, so let me read.
What monogamy is.
Activity monogamy, that's our thing. A very polyamorous person once described activity monogamy to me as a way to tokenize their relationship. That is, in a relationship where the things that commonly denote specialness, sex, emotional monogamy, public presentation as an exclusive couple weren't being used in those ways, what was the thing that made our relationship special? In his case, it was going to see foreign films together. Okay. But activity monogamy could refer to anything from raising kids together to sharing a home to traveling to a particular location together.
So in a nutshell, it's still that you doing everything with your partner together and he's not doing it with anyone else.
Right. If you've taken me, let's say, if you've taken me to France, I don't expect you to take your other woman to the same places that you took me in France. That's what I interpret as activity monogamy. Okay. So you still say that's ego?
We'll get back to that.
You really think that's ego?
Yeah, we're going to add more. That more means enough. Let's move on. We'll come back to that.
Oh, wow. Okay, so going back to black folks, is black marriage under attack? Is black relationships under attack? And why aren't they working? So with the 4 monogamies, do you feel that our lack of understanding of what monogamy is contributing to why black folk not getting married or just deciding not to, or it's not working? What do you think is the root?
Us being disconnected to our culture. You gotta understand, our oppressors gave us monogamy, what monogamy was.
Okay.
So I just think as a people, we still hadn't got to a place where we really understand the enslavement on our mind when it comes to certain things. Because monogamy from the African culture is totally something different from what it is here. And it's not just about the men having multiple women to lay down. Mm-hmm. It's about really taking care of the village.
Okay.
And so, and this is what it's got misconstrued at. We all use that. It takes a village here. We still use that today.
It takes a village to raise a child.
But what does that really mean? And so when it comes from the African culture,
well, we're communal, so that's what that means. Okay. When it takes a village to raise a child.
This is my point. When tribes went to war, and the men didn't come back, certain men that lost their life in death, the warriors that came back, that was their duty to take up the woman and the kids, because they had to be the protector.
Okay, I'm with you.
And see, here in the Western world, that got took away from us. When here they made it about a man want to be on some pimp shit, or he just, this is my take, and just this is how we want to cross from that. When people say monogamy, oh, that ain't what the book said, or that ain't what that person said. But you gotta understand, the book was given to us.
And so were these 4 monogamies that we talking about by the oppressor.
Yeah, but this is more how the African culture. This is what we got to go back and study African culture.
And I hear what you're saying, brother.
Because they was communal.
They were communal, but it's 2023.
Okay.
We have sexually transmitted diseases.
We didn't have them then?
I'm sure they had sexually transmitted diseases then, but they weren't at the rampant rates they are now.
How do you know who was taking the statistics back then?
Well, I just don't recall seeing in any encyclopedias a lot about chlamydia and gonorrhea in those times. I'm sure it was like syphilis or something like that, but to go back to culture in 2023, and to be able to be fruitful and multiply. It's a greater consequence now. I mean, we just went through COVID, and you caught that shit just from somebody blowing on you, and you was out like that.
I ain't been interrupting. It's not about. We always just thinking about it's a man wanting to lay down with multiple women.
I'm not saying that it's a man wanting to lay down with multiple women, but what I am saying is exploring different realms of monogamy, polyamory. Okay. It's 2023. We got STDs. We got social media. We got cell phones. Mental health is at an all-time high. A lot of men and women don't have the emotional intelligence to enter into multiple relationships at a time. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see they have that capacity.
Some people don't have the emotional intelligence to move and goddamn one.
And that is true. But typically those are the ones who are engaging in multiple relationships, and that's why this is just me. That's why we're in the condition that we are in now. So
if you honestly think if one person stuck to somebody for the rest of your life, you really think the conditions here would be better? Your therapist, Ms. Office?
I think in our community, I think we will see a difference. I do. Because when you go back to our culture, when it took a village to raise a child, it was more than sexual. It was mental. It was bringing together the resources to make it. You know what I'm saying? But from what I see and my experiences, it's not approached like that. The man or the woman, beyond financial, again, don't have the mental capacity to engage in multiple relationships, the maturity. And let's be honest too, financially, we see it now where men have multiple children and the families suffer because they can't provide financially. Now I'm cool if you can do mental, some social activity, all that stuff. Wealth is not a deal breaker for me because I can go get it on my own. But in the context of, wow, our shit ain't working in our communities, I think it's just a lot of layers. Not really understanding. A lot of people are broken. And not again, that maturity.
But once again, I'm going to go back to the root. We don't know. If you don't get to the goddamn root, the problem going to recycle.
Okay.
At the end of the day, somebody gave us our whole thought process to everything that we got going on in this world.
We definitely program.
So in that, as a whole, we have to start unbecoming, because we have all been tricked. As Keisha say, what's his favorite word?
Buffoonery.
There's been a lot of buffoonery.
There's a lot of buffoonery out here.
Buffoonery, what we get shown every day. And then the goal is, systemically, the goal is to keep us apart.
Okay.
To keep the black woman, black man. That's the goal.
Apart.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that's a part of hierarchical systemic racism.
Yeah.
But you got to understand too, all other factors, because we automatically shoot stuff down when we say, okay, well, that was in that book, that said that. So we don't look at it from different perspectives. And not to get off the point, let's go back to really breaking down what the four monogamies are.
Okay.
So
go back to breaking them down.
And we know what the first one is: sexual monogamy. Only me and nobody else. As a matter of fact, do me a favor. When you get a chance, can you Google how many species, what percentage of species is monogamous?
I feel like you already know that answer.
No, I don't. I know it's pretty high though. I don't know the exact answer.
Okay, so what was the question?
Can you?
I'm just saying. I just asked the question.
Get off the drinks. Let's go back to.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to emotional. I will love you and only you.
Okay.
This is a common sentiment, but what does it mean in practice?
You tell me. I will love you and only you.
Well, I'm a Care Bear, so you know. But okay, emotional. I will love you and only you. Meaning that when I was thought like this, that you're my man, I'm having sex with you, I love you, you only love me, and we do things together, and we're building. In my mind, that's what I was taught is how you enter into a relationship, and that's how you build a relationship. Now, as I've gotten older, I do understand that you can love more than one person, and I get that. But for me, when it comes to emotional monogamy, when you got both of us believing something, then I have a problem with that. You know, but that's me. But it says, do you have a best friend? What about kids? Are you a part of an emotionally intimate community in an era where you might spend more time with the people you work with than at home with your partner? What does emotional monogamy mean? Because you can have emotional affairs, and I don't think people really understand what an emotional affair is. But you can be in an emotional affair. Okay, so that's emotional. Social monogamy. Even if we're not actually monogamous in other ways, I want people to think that we are. Social monogamy is possibly the most powerful monogamy there is. Individuals and couples have to expect over the years wanting to explore some aspect of non-monogamy, but are very worried about the consequences of being found out.
Okay. So
looking at Will and Jada shit right there. Okay.
No judgment, you're a therapist.
I didn't judge, I'm just saying.
I'm taking away therapist for us.
Okay. Do your
thing.
But
no. Let's chop it up. Why do you think?
Why do I think?
Not feel.
Okay.
Because we can feel shit, and our feelings can be wrong.
Our feelings can be wrong.
And we can think shit, and our thinking can be wrong.
It can be fucked up. Yeah.
But looking at the numbers, the facts that we get.
Yes. Okay.
What are maybe 3 or 4 things that you can point to and say, you know what, this is why it seems like black love is dying or it's unwrapping.
So you want me to give you 3?
Yeah, according to what we talking about.
I think social media.
Okay.
Number 1. Big factor. That, like they said, social monogamy, not wanting to be found out. I think everything is a look and an image now. The internet has so many external influences that you can listen to now for relationships. I feel like it's propaganda. When I see Instagram, I don't see Caucasian, Asian, other ethnicities dogging each other at the rate we do. Fuck this, fuck her, fuck him. I just don't see that. I think that's one. I think the wealth is a big divider. And I think from what I see, a lot of us entered in relationships young. We did not have the best models. And a lot of us are broken and just really don't want to acknowledge I'm broken, and keep going into these cycles of relationships.
I'm trying to find something that
and to having children early. I would say for me, having children early. I think that is a big, for me, just from what I see, why black relationships, black marriages are not thriving. Because for us, it's blended families. Because just about everybody is coming to a relationship now with a kid. And do we really know how to do that the right way?
Right.
You know, is him or her really able to bring both together and it just flows?
And just, I'm going to add to that, I'm a veggie back. We're not pork eaters here, so we say
so
veggie back. We don't say piggy back, we say veggie back.
Okay, veggie back.
Our system is, like you say, everything is broken and we control. We control by so many different things.
Yeah.
Just touching on, veggie back on what you were saying. But it's something here that is so true with us. And it said, a woman deserves a man that's already complete and ready for growth. And so does a man. We're not psychologists or counselors. In the case, we are. I'm a psychologist. Well, you're I'm a hood psychologist and a psychologist. I'm a counselor as well. I'm a mentor, I'm a life coach.
I am so glad you pulled that up.
And so we have to come already complete, in a sense.
Okay, right.
You know,
because ain't nobody ever fully complete.
No, I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You can't come with all your adverse childhood experiences, which is your ACEs. You can't come with all the issues that you didn't get taken care of in your growth process. Why you growing into a relationship? Because that shit plays out into relationships. All childhood issues become adult issues.
Okay.
And you know that, you're a therapist.
I'm with you on that, but how many of us go get help for that? So somebody coming in with something. I'm just saying. Yeah, but I hear what you.
We have to be honest with each other.
Yeah.
You know your shit before me.
Absolutely.
I know my shit before me.
Absolutely.
If I know before you that every now and then I would want another woman, I already know my shit. I'm coming into you with my shit.
Right.
I'm not lying to myself. Right. So if you know you don't like a certain shit or you don't like a type of man, you know what you coming into because you know yourself.
Right.
Well, I would think you know yourself.
Right. And we have that conversation.
And we got to stop making excuses while we continue to do what we do. Because ultimately, we all know, for me, I think, the baseline of some things. Now, we unconsciously aware, because we was programmed to be unconscious. But sometimes we know what we do and we know what we are.
Yeah.
And some of us know where it stems from.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
We have to, and that's what we got to be accountable. We got to stop using certain things as excuses.
Yeah.
When we get into these partnerships, these relationships, and things like that.
But there also has to be some patience in these partnerships too. And I'm not complete. I work on myself every day to be the best. I fall short, but I do expect my partner to be able to understand that, and I should be able to talk to my partner about that, and not having my partner feel that he's taking on my baggage or he's my therapist, but I should be able to let you know that, hey, I've had some fucked up things happen to me. I'm trying to work through them. I should be able to vent and bounce things off of you. And we should be able to administer healing to each other in some kind of way in this partnership that we have.
And I hear you. It just, unfortunately, I think that we are in such a feeling state right now. Everything is feeling.
Yeah, everything is emotional.
Nothing is not thinking and processing.
I agree.
I feel. It's all about how I feel. Okay. At some point, we have to get to the thinking part. Now, if we don't get to this here, the prefrontal, we're not going to make rational decisions because we feeling all the time. And we got to feel because that's human nature. Yeah. But we can't always just say, I feel, and shut the thinking down. You see what I'm saying?
Somebody has to be the thinker.
Exactly. And I don't like to, do the battle of sexes, but they say most men are rational. We reason. Most women are emotional. And I beg to differ, hear me out, because we have a lot of emotional effeminate men.
An emotional feminine man?
Emotional, when his feminine self takes over his rationality and reason. And a lot of us men, we don't realize that we're emotional and feminine. So if I grew up in a house full of women, and all the women was my nurturer, I'm gonna take on more of the feminine energy. Even though I'm male, I'm gonna take on more of the nurturer energy that's in the house.
Okay.
So I might, scream, holler at you, snatch, throw stuff there. I deal with a lot of young men that have that because they just didn't have the balance of energies. The match, because we both male and female.
Yeah,
and so
and now I feel like we get into the root of it, because in what I do, working with young women, I see a lot of young women who are raised in a household with grandma, mama, auntie, sister, and no one is in a healthy relationship. Okay, dad is not there. There's no man there, so there's resentment.
Hey, we filling up the shortcut.
There's resentment towards men. There's resentment towards relationships. And if you look at young women right now that's running the rap game and all of that, it's bad bitch season. They don't want no man. They ain't got time for a man. They making their own money. And a lot of them come from households with women where the men was stripped from the household. I'm gonna say stripped because they was, and they not there. So I think that what we touching on is also the root of it.
Right. Oh, this thing is complex.
I really feel like that's the root of it. But also too, for me, when it comes to relationships, and I've never been married. Never been married. Want to get married, but never been married. But I just never had that mindset where I did not want a partner.
Let me ask you a question, because we should tell some stories.
Yeah, I'm all about that.
What was your describe your best relationship, and ultimately
my best relationship,
and why it didn't
work.
Why didn't it sustain or work?
Okay, my best relationship was on and off for about 10 years, and what I enjoyed about it is that we had a friendship. Like, I love hip hop music. He into hip hop music. He was into basketball. I came from a basketball playing family. We was able to do business together, did a tournament together. And I was just really able to be myself. I'm at my best in relationships when I can be myself. It didn't work because I felt that there was also where it just had to be us. I couldn't have
the monogamy stuff.
Yeah,
I
couldn't have male friends. And I grew up with all boy cousins.
I toasted you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just being for real, and that irritated me because my grandmother raised me that men make the best of friends. My grandmother be like, stay away from them bitches. They keep up shit. Men make the best of friends. And I grew up in a household with all men. So I can have a friendship with a man and it's not intimate. And he didn't get that. And then I just felt like it was a bit of, he lacked maturity and intimacy. There was no intimacy, no emotional intelligence. And don't get me wrong, I'm gonna give myself some props because if I love you, I will overlook some shit.
Right.
To a fault. Because that's also been my kryptonite. Overlooking some shit. But when I love you and I'm into you, I'm willing to compromise. But it just got to a point where I wasn't happy. And our relationship, I don't know, it just some shit should feel like work, but it should flow. You know what I'm saying? And when the shit is starting to feel like work, the love gets compromised. That unconditional love begins to get compromised. And now, am I here because I'm settling? Because I don't feel I can do better?
Right.
Or am I here because I genuinely love you and I see the God in you and I want to push you and you push me and we can get through this thing. And I lost that. And that's why it didn't work.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of brave sharing your story. But people, we have to stop thinking it's just love. Love don't keep somebody with you. You can love somebody, goddamn it, tonight, you can leave them in the morning. It have to be.
But it's that love. Is it love that you can leave me like that? You can leave me in the
morning. If you love somebody and you ain't doing it right by them, that's love because you being natural and you being honest to them.
Okay.
I love you, I ain't gonna continue to fuck you. Or to play you.
Oh, I'm glad I swallowed that before you said.
Oh, wow, swallow king. Better words.
I mean, it's a glad, well. All right.
No, this is just what we do.
Okay, I'm just saying.
This is just what we do.
I didn't go there. Okay.
I'm not in pain. This is the best pain. Cataphonic, I'll tell you.
For real, though.
I got 5 hours. This is some good pain she did.
Okay.
But let's go back to the top. So now we hitting on why we're not thriving with our relationships. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
And so with me, I never thought monogamy was natural for man or woman, because I'm a historian. You know, I read, I study. Even when I was young, it just didn't feel natural.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I just never felt that way. I didn't feel like, okay, a person had to just be with this one person. You know, I just didn't, because it's so many different things you can get from different people.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
So I can have a woman that was fine, but she may not be the most intelligent one. You see what I'm saying? I can have a woman that's not.
Build a woman, like build a bear.
Yeah, you care bear. You know about bears.
Hey, I'm good.
But I'm just saying, there's so many different things. Everybody not gonna give you what you feel like you need in one person. And we was talking about that even in our coaching class.
Yeah. About
narcissism. People think narcissism is it's just this man or this person, all about him. No, that's bullshit. What we learn, and what I think to be true is, narcissism is when you're expecting somebody to give you what you ain't giving yourself.
Absolutely.
That's selfish, and that's egotistic.
That is selfish.
You see what I'm saying? If you're not giving yourself 100% love,
why should you expect somebody else?
And you're not doing the things that you are requiring, asking what you require, that's selfish. Because now you got somebody overworking. You see what I'm saying? If you're not feeling good, you shouldn't leave it up to anyone to really say, okay, here go my esteem juice. Here go my esteem high. I get this from that person. I get this from that person. That same person can take all that away from you. And then guess what?
You lose your
You back upside back down again.
Oh, yeah. Or you back seeking somebody else to
Now you're back in that fucking circle. So now you living a journey of somebody trying to feel things that unfortunately we was never taught to give ourselves.
And that is another great point as to why black couples are not coming together and staying together, because we in an instant gratification culture too. Right. And we're in a fix me culture. If I don't like the way I look, I can go get care credit. Right. And I can change that. Right. You know? You even got men now, getting hair transplants, spraying this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's accessible to me to do that. But that goes into, like you're talking about, self-awareness. Right. You know, and I don't think a lot of us are comfortable being uncomfortable to do the work of self-awareness. Like for me, after my last relationship, where he wanted to see other women, I agreed to the shit, knowing that wasn't some shit I was with. Right. But I agreed to it, and the shit was horrible. But that pushed me to really start becoming my own case study and really start studying myself. And I have to say that when I just dug deeper into myself, it's like my whole world changed. Right. And I just don't think that we see a lot of that in our community.
Right.
You know, we see the success stories, but ain't nobody talking about the hell they went through.
We really don't see the success story.
You don't think so?
No, we don't really see, well, I don't think we see enough of black couples that's been married 10, 15, 20 years.
Now that
I'm talking about in TV, just,
yeah.
we don't see that. Well, I don't see that in my community.
Yeah.
And then when we go to the TVs, we really don't see that. We have to look at Black Love.
I love Black Love.
You know, for anybody that hadn't watched, that's where you can get that from. That's where you can
get that, definitely. Black Love.
But you're not going to see this on Instagram, Facebook, and, you know, and that's
what I talked about. I feel like that's where we get pitted against each other on Instagram.
Right.
Because when like Tiana Taylor and Iman, it seems like yesterday they was the poster family, and now it's like, oh well, they getting divorced. Knew that shit was coming.
Right.
You know, it's like, I don't know, like we celebrated, but you know, I know for me, and I told this to you before, the Cosby Show was mine.
Right.
I mean, that was my couple.
Right.
Claire and Cliff, they made it work. They was doctors. They, you know, that was my example for me.
And it's crazy. We only had maybe 1 or 2 shows like that.
Well, it was Family Matters. It was the Cosby Show.
Think about it, King. How many?
Damn, no. Since the 80s to now, well, okay, you talking about when we were growing up.
Yeah, exactly.
It was Good Times, Cosby's, Family Matters. Yeah, I guess that's.
So what is it? You're a therapist, and I do therapy work, coaching work.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is going to take for us to get our project? Because we've been a project here since we've been here.
Oh, that's a good one.
You know, I can get.
Man,
I can go there a little bit.
What
Shot to me.
For us to get out. I think it goes back to.
Freddie Douglass, y'all.
Wow. I think it goes back to self-awareness. I think for black folk, we got to come off that goddamn social media. That shit is horrible. But I think it has to go back to doing your self-work. Like really understanding who you are, what makes you tick. Like I was telling you, once I got into entrepreneurship, doing this podcast, learning about, this is the most I've ever studied relationships in my life, being an entrepreneur. Failing at relationships is the most that it just really prompted something in me to study. But I knew that I was the common denominator. And I think when someone is ready to acknowledge that they are the common denominator in everything, and why is it always me, then you start to work to understanding your aces. Why ain't this working? What do I need to work on? Am I even ready for any form of monogamy? I know for me, like I said, going into entrepreneurship and just realizing I'm a human. We thrive off human connection. I don't believe that we are put here to be by ourselves. That's me.
Right.
I think that you are supposed to meet a partner that has purpose, whether you a dog, whatever, that helps you reach your higher self, and you also help that person.
Right, and I think sometimes you hit a point we are not put here to be alone.
Yeah.
But sometimes you are not put here to be with just one person.
And that may be true for someone.
And to give a whole nother education spin on monogamy, if you go to the dictionary, monogamy means one person for your whole life, not different relationships.
Is that monogamy or marriage?
No, that's monogamy.
Okay.
Monogamy means one person for the rest of your life, not multiple people.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When we say monogamy, we only think, when you're married. No, we talking about all the men that you had before. That is not monogamy. True monogamy is one person all your fucking life.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Well, I'm in a monogamy relationship. No, you're not. If you've been in other monogamy relationships before, you got in this monogamy.
Well, that person is staying in the present.
Yeah, but we get the meditation, be in the present.
Yeah, they stay in the present.
I think we have to really understand the root of everything, because all words are power.
Yeah.
And so, to me, any relationship, if I was to give up some advice, I would say we have to have knowledge of self.
Absolutely.
And self first. You see what I'm saying?
How do you attain knowledge of self?
By looking at yourself every day.
Okay.
You know 50-60% of the time what's wrong with you in that mirror. You see what I'm saying? I can look in that mirror. Ain't nobody got to tell me I got some big lips. I can see my big lips, or big teeth, or big eyes.
But it's also illusion.
That mirror?
Yeah.
You think that mirror lying to how you look physically?
I'm not saying that the mirror is lying to me how I look physically, but you do have people who will not believe what the fuck is being reflected back in that mirror because they have a grandiose, or they don't see nothing wrong with them, or the external influences says this is
I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
And that's you giving yourself power too. But I feel like 50% of us, we know what we didn't put in that bag. Or what baggage we finna bring into something.
Bag like.
You know, I would never not stop thinking that. You see what I'm saying? Because anytime I enter something, I know what I put in my bag. And I know what I'm bringing. And that's why we get so caught up on what you're bringing to the table. Because we already know somebody bringing something. You see what I'm saying? But what's at the table? And so I just think now, it's like, okay, when you have something to lose, the game is a little bit different. You see what I'm saying? It's just a little bit more different. And like I say, these are conversations I think we should start having about what is your expectation of monogamy? And what really is monogamy?
And what are your expectations?
And what are yours, period. And sometimes, like my man Cam said, sometimes your expectation ain't other people's obligations.
No.
And so, you know, it's just about, once again, us having the courage to say, you know what, let me not lie to myself.
But I want my cake and eat it too.
Oh, so you don't.
I'm just saying, I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
You know, I want my cake and eat it too. So why should I could tell you, and I can listen to what you say your expectations are, but I want my cake and eat it too.
Most of us do.
Yeah, and you have a lot of that right now.
Right.
You know, you just have a lot of that.
So best practices moving forward.
Best practices.
We told a story.
Well, you didn't tell a story. You didn't tell a story.
Baby, how much time we got left?
You can't be a Neho Al aged and don't tell us about a lived experience.
I'm always gonna give y'all something to think about. That's why I left an empty glass here.
So, can monogamy work?
Yes.
Okay, let me hear. I'm intrigued.
Hold up. I think monogamy can work if the two individuals understand purpose and alignment.
All right.
You know, love and people separate because they really don't know what their purpose are with each other. Their true purpose are and what's the alignment. I feel like if they got that, regardless what happened, a person, they can be together. Because at the end of the day, with me, I think purpose should be the end goal. You see what I'm saying? Love is the foundation. Love is the root. But you have to have purpose in all things, in anything, to be successful. You know, we say, well, what's the marriage? The marriage is we gonna love each other and we gonna be with the rest of life. Okay, but what does life mean without clear purpose? In that case, I think it could.
Monogamy could work.
Yeah. You know,
as long as y'all got a goal and it's a purpose and y'all stand there.
That's the end goal. Your
but
purpose
Susie,
and your alignment.
Big booty got purpose too.
That's a fucking flesh purpose.
Okay.
I'm talking about a spiritual purpose, baby.
Okay.
We getting out of the flesh and we going into the spiritual realm.
Okay.
So if you got a real connection, a deeper inner intimacy, where it's about the synergy, that can last. And you know, we always talk about failed relationships.
Yes.
I don't think no relationships is a failure. They should be lessons.
They definitely should be lessons.
You know, for people out there, fail mean first attempt of learning. So when I was married, I used to think I failed my marriage. No, that was my first attempt in learning how to be a fucking husband and a married man. Nothing I didn't know shit about because I didn't have the models.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I didn't have men point at me and say, this is that. And if they still was moving, they still was moving on the side.
Right.
If you get what I'm saying.
I'm crystal clear.
And so when I was in my marriage, I think maybe after 2.5, 300 years, I went back out there because in my heart I lied to myself. I never thought I could be monogamous because that wasn't my nature. You see what I'm saying? It just wasn't my nature. It wasn't for anything else. It just wasn't my nature.
Yeah.
Because when I did go out there, and I'm gonna wrap this up, I felt bad. Well, hold on, I felt guilty. I didn't feel bad. It's the difference between feeling bad and guilty. I felt guilty because I know I hurt someone that was 100% committed to that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if I wasn't feeling bad, or I wouldn't do the shit.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But most men, we lie to ourselves, and this is why I challenge men that we got to stop fucking lying to ourselves. And if you tell the truth to the woman, don't be scared to let that woman go at the end of the day. Because we like to say one thing and then we don't believe in the reciprocity. So what's juice for the goose is juice for the gander.
Okay.
You know, and I say that for real.
Okay.
You know, and that's what
that is so true.
Men, we have to keep it real with ourselves now. You know, we can go do what we do, but the minute we know now it's something. And so I want to ask the men who are really the insecure ones when we talk about that. That's a challenge I got for men. And back to the women. We got to really understand what secure and insecure mean. You see what I'm saying? And protect it. And so for the audience, do y'all think this can work? Monogamy can work? If not, we'd love to hear why. And if y'all don't think it can work in this age and this time, because all we see is it's not working, and we're trying to get to the root of this problem, because this is affecting our community as a whole.
It really is.
At an all-time high rate.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Clinical Hawkins.
Yes, sir. What do I think?
Yeah, what you think? You pro-monogamy or whatever?
I'm pro-monogamy.
Okay.
And I feel that monogamy has to work. But I know we gotta wrap it up, but I feel like it has to work because it's so many advantages to it. You know, I'm gonna put on my realtor hat. You know, when people are looking for homes, credit is a huge thing. But when you got two people, you can make it happen.
Right.
And that's just what I feel like in our communities. We just have to get back to that. Yes, a lot of choices out there, but going back to what you said, the purpose, the end goal, what do you want? And for us to have healthy families and healthy communities, because I just don't see where we are emotionally ready to have that tribal African village that was eons ago.
Well, we got it anyway. All the goddamn.
I mean, we got it, but the shit ain't working. I mean, shit. You see Snapped every day, don't you? The shit ain't working.
Well, marriage ain't really working, but this is why we here. We got to see how and why
it can
and give
work.
what we think some of the solutions are.
I think the solution is you got to work on self. It has to have purpose. It has to have a goal. And you have to have those hard conversations. And when a person is telling you, hey, I can't do this, can't force it.
Right. And people, look, last thing, and I'm going to shut the hell up.
I was just, okay.
But look, man, we have to listen to reflect. I think we listen to respond. We react right away. We listen to react. We're not taking no time to just processing anything because once again, I said earlier, we're so stuck back here. And so we gotta, when we talking to someone, if you already know what you're gonna say to the person, you done fucking lost already. You ain't did one piece of listening. And we have a listening problem amongst us. First thing, you don't listen. You ain't listening. Why ain't nobody really listening? Because we listening to fucking react and not reprocess. And I'm gonna end that on that there. I hope somebody got some full cups of that here. So take us out.
Well, we'll be having more of these where we have raw conversations about relationships, and they're gonna get realer and rawer. So keep tuning in. And I am Kenya S. And this is
Anel Al, and this is Only for Pain.
Oh wow! That's gonna be your disclaimer every time.
Hey, I got 5 miles. It's for real. Disclaimer.
Okay, all right.
See y'all soon.